Hello everyone, I'm Brian, welcome back. Let's continue, but real quick, so about what I said yesterday towards the end of this. Obviously, as a matter of fact, trying to get to this spot, I'll listen to this. You've been living with it for a long. It's kind of like a pet, like I said. You know, you don't eat your pet. That is something that's fairly obvious, kind of obvious. I mean, I'm sure if you're starving, you might. I don't know. I've never. Luckily enough, I think most people's never been in that situation. Like if you're starving to death, and you know your cow's about to die or something, maybe you end its life to be able to so that it can continue to provide for you. I don't know about like eating dead animals. I'm sure you can. I'm sure. What do I mean by dead animals? I mean like dead, and then you slaughter for like beef. I don't know. There's I don't know. I'm not a hunter or anything like that. Obviously, you kill the animal to slaughter for meat, but in terms of like being dead for a little bit, I think there is a certain period of time. People do roadkill type stuff in America too. Anyways, you know, I completely agree with Sadhguru in terms of the fact that you know it is kind of a big problem if you have a law and you cannot enforce it. I disagree with the law, but at the same time, vote in the people that you want into power to make changes to laws. So this is one thing I will 100% agree with Sadhguru on, is that the country has to enforce laws, especially if the laws are voted on by the people. Now mind you, that's the key thing there. I don't know how that law got in there. If everyone voted that into place, then you know you kind of have to agree with it in a sense, and if you disagree with it, then vote those people out and vote in people that will change that law. That I cannot argue with at all. That's how democracy works. That's how society works. I disagree with the government having too much enforcement in terms of people's private lives or what they eat and what not. I can understand certain things like, you know, things that are genuinely bad that's linked with cancer or whatever, being banned for that kind of stuff for sure. But again, there's always a balance between how much control the government has and how much freedom that you have. Anyways, outside of that, I can't remember if I said that or not. I thought about it for 2 more seconds after the fact. It's like, well, I'll just add it on to this part. So I think I got that out the way. Anyways, let's continue.
Thank you, Sadhguru.
I'm kind of curious as to what she thinks about that, though. You know, I don't think that's what she wanted to hear. I don't. Maybe that's her people. And you know that's probably part of the culture, and that really sucks. Imagine your culture, everyday life, that's not really affecting anyone else, but this is something that you grew up with, and all of a sudden the government says it's illegal, even though it's something that every human kind of does.
Thank you, Sadhguru. Moving on to next question. This was the most frequently asked question by the youth of our university. We feel parents today are becoming liberal with their children in many aspects. However, when it comes to intercaste and interreligion marriage, people are still orthodox, and people draw a rigid line that children cannot cross. Is it merely because of the fear of society? As the saying goes, "Sabse bada rog kya kahega log." So, as a youth, what can we do to convince our parents and bring them out of this social fear?
Again, this is something outside of my knowledge. The only thing I will say about this is what I know about generally people who want something. Go for it. Screw what people think. I mean, if people, to a degree, obviously, you should be concerned with what other people think to a certain degree. But at the same time, if what you're doing is causing no harm to anyone, and it's genuinely going to make you happy, and you're not forcing anyone to it, screw what people think. Who cares? But again, this is a society that I don't know. I don't know how strong it is, but the only way to beat that back is by genuinely you starting to change, and everyone else has to follow along suit, of course. That's the only way. And it's kind of, how do I say, it's kind of like how I talk about in terms of racism. The way racism dies is with children. And because children don't, you know, when they play with people, they don't look, oh, their skin color, you know, they don't look at that. They play, and they like you for who you are. They hate you because they punch you in the face or something. I hate you because you punched me in the face, you know. But other than that, they don't look at skin color. So, and then the child of a racist will grow up be wondering, why do you hate people of these color? This is my friend. I grew up with him. He had my back the entire time. We're buddy pals, you know. And the way you're thinking, Dad, it's crazy. It's stupid. I'm not like that. I can see past the color of people's skin. That's how in a sense how you beat race in one way, is by disproving their beliefs. Kind of like I guess this is kind of similar in that sense, or it's caste system is by just maybe even ignoring what caste you are. I don't know how that's done over there. Again, this is something I'm not very sure of, but I can say that there's some similarities, but obviously there's a lot more that has to be I have to be informed about. But just by completely ignoring the caste, by doing what you want regardless of the caste, I mean, I can say all that. I don't, and I'm sure that is one way to defeat it. But again, it's a matter of whether people are willing to do it or not. And I don't know how strong of a stronghold that has. I've heard people say it's going away, but I guess perhaps in some areas that it's still pretty a pretty strong hold in there.
See, the fear may not be about just what somebody says. We must understand the caste system for what it is. Well, before I say that, I want you to understand this. I never ever asked anybody, what is your caste, because it doesn't even occur to me in my mind. So I'm against intercaste marriages because somebody will take this one sentence and make me into trouble, but I keep doing this always because it's…
Is it because to defeat the caste system, you must… I think intercaste meaning marrying within the caste system, but if you marry outside the caste system, you kind of destroy it.
By intent.
Right.
I am against intercaste marriages because, first of all, why the hell do you identify with the caste and then try to do inter? If… when I was young, if I wanted to marry somebody, I won't even bother what the caste is, I never asked. Actually, this happened to me. My wife, I never asked what's her caste. I just came home one day and told my father, I'm marrying this girl. He asked, who is she? I said, her name. I only knew her pet name, I didn't know her full name. Because that's what I called her. Then he asked, who is her father? I said, I don't know. He said, what? You don't know the father's name, you'll marry her? I said, I wish to marry only the girl. I don't wish to marry her father, nor his property, nor his kanda, nor anything, I'm just marrying the girl. So what caste are they? I said, I don't know. What, you don't know their caste? I said, I don't know. Because except what people have told me, even I don't feel my caste anywhere. I have uncasted myself completely, I'm not cast in anything. So I didn't check her caste either. Then somebody came, once this happens in the family, all the uncles and aunts and others, they are all warriors. They all get into the act. They came and said, we don't even drink water in their house. Their caste is like that. I said, did they invite you? They have not invited you to come home. Only after they invite you, whether you want to drink coffee or whatever, we will see. Right now they have not invited you, nor am I planning to take you to their house, nor am I planning to go to their house. I'm just marrying the girl. They couldn't believe it. I said, why, how can we do this? Our families can't sit together, they're caste. I said, I never said I'm inviting you to my wedding either. So, I just declared to my wife, I said, you're my wife, that's it. She said, this is all no witness, no arrangement, no garland. I said, see, no bloody witness can ever hold me to anything. When I say something, that's it. I will not go back on it. I said, I'm married to you, this is it. So I just came and announced to everybody, I'm married. They said, when, where, how? That's not your business. This is my wife, then that's it. So I'm saying, first of all, why do you caste yourself and then why do you intercaste yourself? Not necessary. But there is a social situation, that is, in this country, Why this caste system stuck on like this is, this was the only means of transmitting skills. Suppose your father is a goldsmith. Now he will marry you only to your goldsmith, another goldsmith, because right from your childhood you have helped the goldsmith carrying this and that, you know how to handle it. Suppose he puts you, suddenly marries you to your blacksmith, you will feel lost in that house and you know nothing about it. Because knowledge was transmitted only through the family tree. Today, we don't know what his father is, but now he's become an engineer. We don't know what your parents are, now you're becoming a bio thing, because we have institutions which transmit knowledge. When there were no such institutions, family was the only institution transmitting knowledge, so we didn't want to corrupt that, so we maintained that. Now that is irrelevant. One part of the caste system has become irrelevant. Another reason why people are sticking to the caste is because there's no social security in the country. If tomorrow something goes wrong with your life, okay, you married some strange boy, and if something went wrong with your life, you fell ill or he fell ill or accident happened, something happened, now the only people you can fall upon is your clan. You go and knock on somebody else's door, they won't open their door. You have to go to your caste. If you say, I belong to this caste, they'll say, come, we'll do something for you. So this is the social security you still have. So in urban areas, it may not matter because you have insurance and this and that, but in rural areas, if you just break away from your caste completely, you are completely on your own. If something goes wrong, there's nobody going to stand up for you. So this is the social security system. Don't try to worry about this destroying caste system by intercaste, all this. If you create a proper universal social security system, caste will die a natural death. Nobody has to kill it, it will just go.
Okay, a couple of things here. This is almost sounds sounds very much like tribals, you know, where if you're within the tribe, they'll take care of you because you're part of the tribe. This also sounds like kind of communities in America as well. It's all the same thing, just different names. Where if you develop such a strong community in your area and they know you, if you have trouble, they'll take care of you. So it's all the same thing, really, in terms of what he's talking about here. Obviously, if you're not part of a community, tribe, or caste, and they don't know you, then yeah, you're not going to get help from them, generally speaking. But there's always going to be kind people out there that'll help you out. Kind of like, I guess, I'm assuming like there's some things in America where there's what do you call it? Like private, well, I don't want to say private, but I guess organizations that help with certain things. Like if you have cancer, there's probably organizations that can help you pay for your bills, that could probably pay for all your bills. You know, there's a whole bunch of help systems out there. You just have to know where to look. And the other thing I was going to say is the fact that he was talking about marriage within the caste system. I'm wondering, and he also talked about, I think the divorce rate in India was like really low. And it was. And I'm wondering if the caste system has anything to do with that. You know, not, how to say this, when there's something so good, there may be something bad to it. Like, there's no, I don't think there's anything out there that's super good with nothing negative to it. You look at like really, really amazing composers or artists, just say artists. Beethoven was deaf. Mozart was, I think he had like a traumatic childhood or something like that. Just the greatest people in the world, generally speaking, always had something wrong with them. It's kind of like a gift and a curse kind of deal. So what may be keeping this marriage so good is the caste system and the divorce rate so low. And that's what the negative side to it is. I don't know. It's almost seems like that to me, where, you know, when you see someone that's so skilled and so good at something, they lack in something else. Like maybe they have terrible social skills, you know. There's one person I know that's an amazing painter and sculptor, but he is so awkward socially. So this is how I kind of think about things. When there's something so good about someone or something, there's probably a negative side to it, or a negative bad side. You know, doesn't necessarily mean harmful, but just there's a cost to it. So again, anyway, so I'm wondering if this caste system may be helping with the marriages. Again, I don't know. I would ask Sadhguru that to see if what would he say. Is it yes, the caste system's helping it, or maybe no, it's not.
Sadhguru, this is the final question of the round. In an interview with Karan Johar, you have defined organized religion as madness. But the matter of fact is that the majority of the people in the planet do identify themselves with one religion or the other. And in the process, they create some kind of wall between those of different faiths. So what can we as youth do to break that wall and help everybody live united?
I will say, and at least in America, it's I would say not a lot of youths they're not too religious. They probably believe in a God. They're more spiritual. They're more spiritual in terms like they believe in a God or a higher power, but may not necessarily identify, say, as Christian or Catholic or whatever it may be. And I think most people in religion in the United States don't care whether you're Baptist or whatever. I guess the slightly more important thing is the fact that you believe in a God or the Christian God, I suppose, or the Catholic God. I don't know. They're all the same gods, roughly, I think, in terms of like the Christian, Catholic, Baptist, Lutheran, or whatever. They're all kind of the splinter fleet from the main religion. I don't know. And then, of course, you have the kind of a little bit more fanatic ones, a little bit more strict ones, where you only hang out with Christians or you only hang out with Baptists. I think those are significantly rare. But yeah, I think more youths today are becoming more spiritual, but not so much religious. But they'll still go to churches and stuff, almost regardless of what church it is, Catholic, Baptist, whatever. Just because the believe in God and doing it with family or friends is more important.
People divide themselves in so many ways. As you just now said, mainland India. We'll pardon you because you're from Nepal. Mainland China, mainland India, not like that, just India. Now, the thing is, see, for a whole lot of people, they're not in such a level of consciousness right now. If it comes to me, I'm like this, I have no struggle within me for anything. So I don't look up, because I know the planet is round and it's spinning. If I look up, I'm looking up in the wrong direction. But for somebody else who is fearful, somebody else who's not figured their life, for them, just believing there is somebody up there gives them solace. They're going to open the psychiatry department. But you will see psychiatry is very inefficient because you can treat only one patient at a time.
Oh.
And you need a lot of furniture like this, you need a couch, But now, God is holding your hand, don't worry. A whole lot of people, they're managing their psychological balance. It's true or false is not your question. The question is whether it's working or not working. It's working on one level. Yes or no? A whole lot of people will be cracked up if they don't have something that they believe they're holding on to. If that is not there, they will crack up. Because not everybody is on a spiritual path, not everybody is so organized within themselves that they will handle things out of their own conscious intelligence. They need something to lean on. Why people are leaning upon each other, why people are making… See, freedom is the most valued thing in the world, but still most people are trying to build bondages among themselves. Why? They need somebody to lean on, isn't it? So when all these people fail, they need somebody else to lean on. So, what you call as religion is a certain belief system. Belief is a very inexpensive and efficient psychiatry.
Oh. It took me a while to realize that too, what Sadhguru's talking about. I wouldn't say psychiatry, but I'd say I guess it is in some way. I never phrased it that way, but it's a way. If believing in a God makes you a good person, I say go for it. That's my phrasing. But he is right, and it is actually a very inexpensive and efficient psychiatry. Great way.
It helps people to stay.
Yeah.
Most
Sane.
people will lose their mind if there's nothing to fall back on. Isn't it so? But as a human being evolves from belief to knowing, then it'll naturally go away. The entire movement that I'm doing right now is a movement from religion to responsibility. What this means is, religion means God's will. When is it God's will? When things go wrong. Yes? It's also an insurance for failure. When things don't work out, it's God's will. Otherwise, failure will poke you and poke you and poke you. In case she doesn't respond, it's God's will. Yes.
I see.
No, it's her will. Now, if you take away this aspect from people, a whole lot of people will get confused and suffer immensely. You must evolve with society from religion to responsibility. What this means is that you are willing to see that your destiny is your making. It'll take a certain amount of organization for an individual human being to come to that. In this culture, forever we have thought that, because in this culture there is no the God, anybody. There's never been. All the people that you worship in this culture are people who walked this geography. Whether Rama, Krishna, Shiva, anybody you take, they all walked this land at some time. And they were not even a super success. Nor did they do anything superhuman. They did not drop from the sky, they did not fly in the air, they did not walk upon the water, nothing. Drudgery, daily. All kinds of troubles in their life, daily. More trouble than any of you will go through. All kinds of things. You look at Rama's life, he's still having real estate issues. So, even during his life, he lost his kingdom, went to the jungle, lost his wife, went and got her back, again lost her, almost killed his children. Then he never saw his wife. She means a lot to him. If he was that kind, that if his wife was kidnapped, he found a local girl immediately. I mean, he's a king, he could have found another wife, all right? Any man could have found. But he walked nearly 3,000 kilometers down to get her back. Fought a war, burnt a beautiful city and got her back and again lost her. This is not a successful life. But the reason why we are bowing down to him is because no matter what life did to him, he stayed free. He did not become resentful, he did not become hateful, he did not even become reactive to anything, nor did he become a recluse. He participated, fulfilled all his duties, whatever he has to do, all his responsibilities as a king. He has personal grief, but that personal grief never became a part of his consciousness or his actions in the world. To such an extent, when he came back after killing Ravana, he wanted to go for 1 year of penance in Himalayas. His brother Lakshmana asked, "Are you crazy? This man kidnapped your wife and after so much difficulty we got her back and now you want to do penance for having killed him?" So Rama said, he had 10 qualities. 9 are all treacherous qualities. I don't mind killing them, but one aspect of him was he was a great devotee. Unfortunately, I had to kill the devotee also. For that, I want to do 1 year of penance. Because the man is free from all these things, when one is free, in this culture we say he is attained to mukti or moksha. The highest value has always been liberation, not God, not heaven. Always liberation. Freedom has been the highest value. Because of that, we worship him, look up to him. We didn't say he is the God. He is somebody worth emulating because he represents freedom, no matter what. This is something you must understand. You cannot decide what life throws at you. But What you make out of it is 100% yours, isn't it? So the important thing is that you must grow. If you want to grow with God, please grow with God. If you want to grow without God, you grow without God. But you must grow. That is, you must grow towards your ultimate freedom. That's important. So, what you call as religion never existed in this land. Various kinds of spiritual processes. And anybody who emulated, who was worthy of emulation, we started worshipping all of them. Today, a lot of people are worshipping Tendulkar as cricketing god. See, it's very appropriate for this culture. If somebody excelled in something beyond what you consider normally as human, we say he's a deva, okay? Arjuna is worshipped as a… yesterday I was at the award ceremony, Arjuna award for everybody. Simply because he excelled in archery in a certain way, now we're saying he's a archery deva, okay? So if you excel in your microbiology, we will say you are a microbiology. This is happening in the world. See, here we are doing it culturally, but is it not happening everywhere? People are almost worshipful about Albert Einstein, aren't they? People are almost worshipful about Mahatma Gandhi, aren't they? People are almost worshipful about Nelson Mandela, aren't they? Because when some human being exhibits certain qualities which is above what we consider as a normal human being, then we bow down to that. This is not… here it is consciously done, but in every culture people will naturally do it, isn't it so? So this is a religion-less, God-less land. Here we always told you, your life is your karma. Did we? This means your life is your making. There is no Uparwala managing you. This is the only culture. Only thing is, does it mean to say I created the whole universe? Obviously it was here before you and me came. So there is a dimension of intelligence making this happen. Where is it? What did you… okay.
A little too soon there.
What do you have for lunch? Okay, I'm sorry, breakfast. Chapati. See, does she look like a chapati? She eats a chapati and she becomes like this. There is an intelligence within you which can make a chapati into a human being, yes or no? A simple dough, wheat, flour and chapati into such a complex machine, yes or no? Is there an intelligence like that here or not? This is the biggest mistake we made in the world. People went about describing God means love. All the people who lack love in their life, they said God is love. All the people who are fallen, they said God is compassion. All the people who are hungry, they said God is food. But if you don't subscribe to any of these things, if you open your eyes and pay attention to everything in this universe, if you look at this flower, if you look at this leaf, if you look at everything, you look at a tiny ant, how it is made, if you pay enough attention, there is a tremendous intelligence, isn't it? Hello? But nobody said God is intelligence. This is the biggest mistake we've made. The reason for human stupidity is just this, we did not identify divine as the highest level of intelligence. But that's what it is. If you don't believe anything, if you just pay attention to creation, do you see an intelligence beyond your brains everywhere? In every leaf, every flower, every ant, every microorganism? Yes or no? You're looking in the microscope? Yes. Do you see tremendous things right there? Yes. If you pay attention to the universe, including your own body, you would see there is a phenomenal intelligence functioning right here, isn't it? If you identify with that intelligence, if this intelligence which can make chapati into a full-fledged human being like this, if you even find conscious access to even one drop of that intelligence, you will live magically, isn't it? Not miserably. So miserable people are always looking how to fall back on something. They need a fallback. And those who may have made a misery out of their life, they want to go to heaven. Yes, those who made a hell out of themselves, they want to go to heaven. But I'm asking you, is it true that all human experience is coming from within or outside? Coming from within. What's coming from within you must happen the way you want it. Yes or no? What's coming from outside, I cannot determine because somebody else, something else throws those things at me. What's coming from within me must happen my way, isn't it so? What's coming from you, I cannot decide. We don't know what you will do. But what's coming from within me must happen my way. If this one thing, if you take charge, you will live a blissed out life.
100% agree with that one. This is sadly, honestly, this one thing there, just that you have to have 100% control over yourself. That is the ultimate power, probably. I don't know if anything else higher than that, other than, I suppose, because I think enlightenment might be higher than that, obviously, but in terms of outside of that, I think knowing to have absolute control over yourself is the highest. Outside of enlightenment, of course. When you're still enlightened, there's no comparison. I'm sure of it. But anyways, but at least having some control over yourself and understanding that you have control over yourself, that alone is very empowering. And the saddest thing is that, like Sadhguru always talks about in a lot of his talks, is no one's read a user manual. And again, for me, it all started in, again, my college course about was it world religion, and it talked about Buddhism, about all life is suffering. That alone made me think a completely different way, where I try not to suffer too much. And ways to reduce suffering, in a sense. The 4 pillars of, I believe, Buddhism, I believe it was.
When you're blissed out, you will not want to go to heaven. Only those who have made a hell out of themselves want to go to heaven. So religion has come out of these belief systems simply because of the ignorance of how life is made. So the entire movement is to move people from religion to responsibility. This does not mean we want to destroy some religion, no. A whole lot of people right now need that belief. If you take away that belief, they will be shattered. Yes or no? It is like when you were a child, any of you can answer this question. When you were a little girl or a little boy, what did you play with? A toy? No. Do you remember any one important thing? Usually in the West, it's all teddy bear or something like this. You had a teddy bear? You had a teddy bear.
Yes.
When you had the teddy bear and hugged it and walked around, it meant a world to you, isn't it? At that time, if I came and snatched the teddy bear and took it away, probably you would be scarred for life, isn't it so? For always you would remember, this man came and took away my teddy bear, hurt deeply. But since then you have grown up, do you remember where the teddy bear went? No. Somewhere as you grew up, religion should fall off like that. If you take it away, it's going to shatter people. It's not good to do that because it's serving a certain purpose. It is serving a very important purpose in human societies. You can't just take it away. If people grow out of it, it's wonderful. But this doesn't mean you become an atheist. See, there is no difference between an atheist and a theist. A theist believes something that he does not know in a positive way. An atheist believes the same thing in a negative way. Both of them are not sincere enough to admit we don't know. Actually, you do not know. Hello?
I'll say this in my phrasing, is the fact that what I do know is what I do know, and what I don't know I cannot conform nor deny it. So, is there a God out there? Well, as far as my experience has been, no, there's not been. Is there one out there? Maybe, I don't know. So, until that happens to where there is or isn't, I'm just going to be, I guess it's agnostic atheist, but at the moment, it's just the fact that from my life experience right now, it's kind of like saying, does 1 + 1 = 2? Well, I mean, as far as we know, yes. Is there something out there that can change 1 + 1 = 2? Well, I don't know, maybe. You know, it's kind of like that kind of belief, that kind of thing. where all of a sudden something comes out, then everything in our math changed. Geography, that's geography. I meant geometry. Geometry, calculus, statistics, arithmetic, all that changes because of just something else being introduced into our system. So it's kind of like that. 1 + 1 = 2. As far as we know, yes, that is true. Can something out there that exists change that? I don't know. Maybe. That's the same way how I believe in God. Is there a God out there? Well, at the moment, no. I don't see any God. I don't see anything that represents God. Can there be God out there? Yeah, maybe. But at the moment, no. From my experience, no. There is no God. Could there be one out there? Maybe.
There were two brothers. Little boys, highly energetic boys. When young boys are very energetic, they're in constant trouble. So they're always into some mess. Parents are very embarrassed. Log kya bolega? Very embarrassed about their children because everybody is discussing their children. So they want to fix them. But you know how to reproduce, but you don't know how to fix them. Does anybody know? No. If you have the necessary love and commitment, you can wait out their problems. Otherwise it'll freak you, children will freak you. Yes, they do. So they decided to take these boys to the local parish priest. Because together they're strong, they decided to take the younger boy first separately. So they took the young boy, made him sit in the priest's office and they left. The boy was sitting there, priest came. See, all this needs a certain drama, otherwise it doesn't work. Long robes and a serious face, a very grave face. And he looked at the boy and walked up and down for effect. The boy sat there doing the ping-pong act. Then the priest thought up a strategy. If I remind this little fellow that God is within him, all his mischief will go. See, this is the whole problem with the world. People who never raise children, they have fantastic ideas.
Oh.
Those who have raised children, they know none of the damn ideas work. So, he thought up this strategy and suddenly with a booming voice he asked, "Where is God?" The boy was bewildered, he looked all over because he must be somewhere in the priest's office. Then the priest saw he's not getting the point. So he leaned on the table, pointing at the little boy. "Where is God?" He's giving him a clue. God is within you. "Where is God?" The boy looked even more bewildered and looked under the table. Then he saw he's not getting it. So he walked around the table, tapping on the little boy's chest, asked, "Where is God?" He's clearly giving a clue where he is. The boy just got up and bolted out of the room, ran to the place where his elder brother was. He said, "We are in some deep trouble." The elder brother asked, "Why, what happened?" He said, "They've lost their God and they think we did it."
That's hilarious.
I'm not taking away anything from you. When you say, "I believe something," you must understand, you made up something for a certain convenience. As long as it serves that convenience, it's fine. But if you're stretching it beyond that point to divide humanity, you better.
Thank you so much, Sadhguru. Now we shall move on to the next.
Okay, I'm actually gonna end the video there. So yeah, again, like I said, I've talked, end video me talking now. So again, I had this discussion with a friend, and I've said this a few times in the video, but just in case you haven't watched those, you know, I was thinking back in the day, before reacting to these videos, I said, you know, if we could get rid of religion, I think it'll serve, I think the world will have less problems. But then he said, you know, he said, it's like, well, you know, yeah, we may get rid of that problem, but another one will rise. I was thinking, it's like, you know what, you're right. Because look at the issues we're having today. These are problems we didn't have before, and yet we're having we have 99 problems now. We have 100. I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. So getting rid of certain things aren't going to get rid of the problems in the world. We may get rid of that one problem, but maybe one or two will crop up behind that. So there's a better way to do it. Again, I don't know if Sadhguru teaches Bhakti Yoga. I'm not exactly sure what his philosophy is. So far, it's been karma, in a sense, Bhakti, Raja. I don't know about Jnana though. But anyways, and I believe Sadhguru has said before that if you want an easy way to enlightenment or moksha, I believe, is Bhakti Yoga. It's the easiest path. It's to give yourself up to God, or it's a love to God, a devotion to God. I like to say devotion, but I think it's originally love. Again, I'm curious to know which. I believe it's originally love, right? Or could be love or devotion. I like to say devotion because you can devote yourself to things as well. For example, you're passionate to something, you can use, in a sense, Bhakti Yoga for that. I don't know if that's what it's meant for, but I like to think that way because I think it can make people's lives easier. And when people have this mentality, it's like, I can devote myself to this and make it the greatest it can be. I think people will really fall into that. Some people just can't do it on their own, but if they hear like Bhakti Yoga is devotion to something, they could do it. It's like the idea has to be there. They can't develop it themselves. Where there are other people out there who can fully devote themselves to something without even needing any kind of help, and they generally do very great with that. But yeah. So anyways, at least that's the reaction to this. I'm going to save the last part, which I'm assuming is going to be the questions from the audience. It looks like 1, 2, 3 questions maybe he'll get to. But anyways, that's another video. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.